What's up, everybody, and welcome on back to another episode of the My Side of Things podcast. This is now episode 6. I'm not episode 6. I'm your host for the day, Ash. Wait, no. I'm your host every day, all day, every single dang time. Oh, my goodness, man. This is already messed up from the end. I mean, the beginning. Oh, my. Keep the camera rolling. We got a whole lot of things in the docket to get to today, including talking about some AEW stuff, a look ahead to Dynasty. We're also going to be looking back at the 2016 WWE NXT Call-Ups. We're going to be doing some stand deliver predictions as well. I got my card set. I don't know if it's a great card, but I definitely got something set. We're also going to be talking about the new NXT group taking over called the Young World Order. They call it Darkstate, but I'm calling them YNWO because Darkstate is absolutely garbage, man. Oh my goodness. What is up with all these new just factions coming around that are all super dang trash named? Like, you got Darkstate, you got the Ops, you got Death Riders, you got... I don't even really like Fatal Influence because it reminds me so much of Toxic Attraction, just like, you know, a synonym to it. So, Fatal Influence, you have the Culling, you have, what's that other group? Pure Fusion Collective. I need the story on that one, by the way, Triple H. You so willing to give all these other dang stories up, but you won't even tell us the story about how the heck you came up with the name Pure Fusion Collective, man. Like, oh my goodness. You'll tell me about Cody Rhodes and the whole finishing the story. You'll tell me about Roman Reigns. You'll tell me about CM Punk. You'll tell me that Cody Rhodes was always the plan, but then you tell me that CM Punk was possibly a plan. You'll tell me about the Jey Uso stuff. You tell me about the Rock, and the Rock won't even give no information up on the name Pure Fusion Collective. Oh my gosh. Then you got Sonya Deville making videos. Hey, Sonya, tap in. Let us know where the heck this stupid name came from. Oh, my goodness, man. I don't know what's going on with these groups these days. They are just all awful. And I'm going to be real. As much as I love AEW, they have some of the worst names. The Inner Circle, the Pinnacle, the Ops. The Patriarchy is fine. I don't mind it. But when you compare it to the other groups, like, it looks great compared to the other groups. It don't look great on its own, though. You got Blackpool Combat Club, you got Death Riders. All of these names are just, brother, who done let y'all folks come up with these names? Oh, my goodness, man. And I'm not surprised either because, I mean, I love AEW. Y'all know I love AEW, but gosh, man, we got Cope running around. We got to cope with this nickname, bro. Oh, my goodness, man. It's so bad. But how about we have this just lead us off into our AEW discussion, specifically looking ahead at some Dynasty matches, including the likes of Swerve versus Moxley. We have Toni versus Megan Bayne. We potentially have Mercedes versus Athena. Come on, Toni Khan. Come on, Tony Khan. You know you want to do it. We also got Speedball Mike Bailey versus Ricochet versus Kenny Omega. And there's probably a few more matches that are going to be on the show as well. I'm assuming maybe Christian and Cope is going to be on the show. I'm assuming maybe we get the TNT Championship match, that third match between Daniel Garcia and Adam Cole. I can't believe it ended the way it ended last night, but I'm not completely mad about it if we do get it on Dynasty as well. But let's go ahead and talk about this Dynasty card, shall we? You know what? Since we're already in a bit of a ranting mood, why don't we go ahead and just rant about Hangman Adam Page real quick? Because, oh my gosh, and Tony Khan as well. Tony, Hangman, y'all better not be doing what I think y'all are going to do, bruh. We better not be running back this stupid dang Swerve Strickland Hangman Adam Page feud again. And I only say stupid in the sense of like it's stupid to run it back now. It was a great feud before, but Hangman Adam Page better not get involved in this match. He better not, because I'm going to start looking at Mr. Hanger a little funny because you got involved in the match last time, and I understand why. You know, you had some beef with Swerve Strickland. You waited a pretty dang long time, though, to get involved in that match. You could have done it any other time, but no. We wanted to do that all in. Couldn't let Swerve have his big moment there, huh? And then you want to not go after MJF after he tried lighting you on fire and also took out Christopher Daniels. And now you want to stop Swerve Strickland from taking down Jon Moxley and ending his reign of terror. Oh, so you want to continue to stop this black man? Oh, I'm just kidding. It's not because of that. We know it's. Oh, I mean, I would hope it's not because of that, but I'm pretty sure. I'm like 1,000% positive it's not because of that. But it's like it just feels Sonya Deville Naomi-esque, where it's like, dude, okay, I understand you got beef with the guy. I understand it, but I mean, like, and I guess it's more explained in Sonya Deville versus Naomi back in, like, what was like 2021. But man, come on, we are past the feud, bro. Let Swerve Strickland dethrone Jon Moxley or let him lose cleanly, one of the two, or even help the guy out. please do not run the stupid storyline back, especially because the fact that it contradicts the whole Hangman Adam Page looking for Swerve Strickland thing. Like, you're telling me he was looking for Swerve about a month ago because he wanted to make sure Swerve didn't get near the AEW World Championship when he wasn't even in the AEW World Championship picture. Like, no, please tell me we're not doing this. I don't really also want, though, Hangman Adam Page to, like, help Swerve Strickland out, because that's just gonna feel so weird to me. I don't really need that. I want Hangman Adam Page to stay in the MJF feud and just keep it there. Don't get involved in all this the Swerve Moxley stuff. It's just, no, they can have a match later. I don't mind that. Like, they had a match at this year's All In because Hangman Adam Page won the Owen Hart Cup tournament. I'm not completely mad about it. I mean, that's pretty cool. I want Swerve to win that match still, because I think after the last match, which he probably should have won, I feel like Swerve should have won against Hangman. I don't think Hangman needed to win. But no, I need Swerve to win this time if they do face off. I just don't want Hangman Adam Page getting involved. It just feels like you're just beating a dead horse at this point. And like, it feels like they're trying to do like a Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins type of storyline here, where these guys are just always going to have beef with each other and they can't coexist. But the thing is, like, there were times, though, where Seth Rollins didn't get involved in Roman Reigns stuff. Now, mind just because of a brand split, so you could say that, and maybe that's why Hangman and Page will be getting involved in Swerve stuff, because there is no brand split, so he can't not get involved. But I mean, Roman Reigns won at I think it was called pay-per-views around this time still. He won at pay-per-views. Like, Seth could have got involved in those matches but didn't. We don't need Hangman to get involved right now. If you want to have him get involved sometime down the line, sure, but not right now when he's potentially going to be winning the match. Don't have it happen there. Have it happen like either A, after he's won the match, or B, you can have it happen afterwards, maybe he gets like another shot at it. Just not right now. Not at Dynasty. We don't need to keep doing this. But what we do need to keep doing, though, is Speedball Mike Bailey, man. Well, wait, Paul. Wait, hold on. That one didn't sound right. You know, maybe I should have leaned into the Toni Storm Megan Bayne match, because they're definitely trying to Tony's trying to do something. You know what? There we go. Yeah, no. Let's talk about Toni Storm Megan Bayne. So we have to transition weirdly into that Speedball Mike Bailey conversation. Ew. Oh my gosh, man. Toni Storm is just absolutely phenomenal, man. I love this woman so much. She's top tier. When Taz said she had a way with words, she definitely does. I'm going to make your legs shake, your bodies quake, but I'm going to leave with this strap on. That was crazy. But Toni Storm is just the best woman right now in wrestling. It is by far and away a clear gap there. I don't think there's another woman that comes close to her. When I said, because I made a TikTok that I said WWE definitely fumbled Toni Storm and Swerve Strickland, I had a bunch of folks trying to tell me that, WWE didn't fumble them because they didn't know they were going to become this. Sweetie, that's a fumble. If we took this into like, and I hate to use this word, but if we took this into like a real sports world and we started having like, we gave the same whole premise, Toni Storm was a former NXT UK Women's Champion, went to NXT and did nothing, went to WWE and did nothing, then eventually just jobbed out to Charlotte Flair, left the company, went to AEW and became a super duper megastar. That is indeed a fumble, and every sports fan would say that. If you look at I think that was 2017, 2018, around that time when No, that might be like 2015, actually, when James Harden didn't get signed by the Thunder and instead it was Serge Ibaka, and James Harden went on to have one of just the next 5 to 8 greatest years in like NBA history. Yeah, that was a fumble by the Thunder to not re-sign him, especially when he was showing flashes of being that guy. Even if it was going to be in a 6-man role, he was still showing that, he was a even in a 6-man role, he was showing that he was already going to be a guy in the future, and you really just let that guy go away. Yeah, no, that's a fumble. Same thing with Toni Storm. Sure, we didn't see this character, but it's because you didn't really let her do much to begin with. You just had her being a jobber the entire time. Even with the Rockstar gimmick, everybody loved it so much, and you just dropped the ball on her. So no, it is indeed a fumble. And Toni Storm, if AEW had the size of WWE, she is easily the biggest woman in wrestling right now, because it's Rhea Ripley or Liv Morgan or Bianca Belair, one of those three. I'm going to go with Bianca because Rhea's just getting forced down everybody's throats. So yeah, no, Toni would love that. Oh my gosh. But This Toni Storm Megan Bayne match, I'm super excited to see how they play it out because obviously you're kind of like pushing Megan Bayne a bit too soon, some would say. But I think that what could happen here with this Megan Bayne Toni Storm match is that I think Penelope Ford gets involved. I like Penelope Ford working with Megan Bayne because, it allows her to get some experience. It's a much better way to push somebody than, just having her go one-on-one and not being able to, carry any promos. Instead, well, then again, Penelope Ford isn't carrying any promos either because she doesn't talk. So, yeah. Okay, look, I like the pairing in the sense that you're giving Megan Bayne somebody to work with. You're not having her work against a jobber like Penelope Ford so early. Maybe she could have a feud after this Toni Storm stuff, but I think early on having her work alongside Penelope Ford and then tag team against some other better wrestlers like Chris Statlander, Thunder Rosa, going 1v1 with them as well. I think that's a really good way to push Megan Bayne. I think though Penelope Ford should get involved in this Toni Storm Megan Bayne match. I think she should either get jealous of Megan Bayne and cost her the win by distracting her, or B, she cost her the win by helping her. Cost her the win by helping her. I threw the air quotes around the wrong thing. But I think that would be a really good way to go about it, because then you have Megan Bayne who's going to get frustrated with Penelope Ford, because I like I said, the teaming doesn't really make sense. She's not doing anything for her other than riding her coattails. Like the way that Naomi was saying Jade Cargill was, no, Penelope Ford literally is riding Megan Bayne's coattails. Not coattails, coattails. This is not Eric Cartman's tales of why he hates Kyle Fletcher so much. Like, wait, did I just say Kyle Fletcher? No, Kyle, not Kyle Fletcher. He probably hates Kyle Fletcher too. They both named Kyle, man. But no, the way that Naomi is claiming that Jade was riding Bianca's coattails, that is nowhere near the way that Penelope Ford is riding Megan Bayne's coattails. And I think you could have Megan Bayne point that out, or maybe that's like the reason for their feud is that maybe Penelope Ford can say, like, people think that I've been riding Megan Bayne's coattails when in reality she's been riding mine. She's the rookie around here. I'm the vet. They could go that route because they have been kind of doing that with Megan Bayne now, going after a lot of the veterans, being the rookie. Oh my God. Is AEW about to start their version of Judgment Day? Oh my God. Are they actually going to do this? Which they realistically could. Okay. Wow. That would be interesting. I don't know who you would even do it with, because like who could you pick there that is like young promising talent, unless do you want Megan Bayne to like join Bullet Club Gold? I mean, hey, I'm kind of here for it. I ain't gonna lie to you now, man. Megan Bayne with the Bullet Club Gold looks pretty good to me, especially because she has like a similar entrance to them as well. Also, if I sound sick, it's because I kind of am sick, so I'm trying to like power through this whole entire recording session. That's why there might be like a few odd cuts here and there. Yeah, no, I'm trying to power. Not like super sick by any means, but like you can definitely hear it in my voice. But yeah, I could see a scenario where AEW says, you know what? Let's try to do Judgment Day better than WWE did it, because I think Judgment Day is a very hot debate on whether they are actually like a great faction or not from beginning to end. There's definitely a case there for it that at one point in time it was really dang good. I think the start of it was decent. I didn't really like the whole direction with Edge. I'm going to be real with you. Even though I do love Edge being in the group, I didn't like the whole direction of it. Then, like, after 2023, that was when it got really weird, really weird. 2022 wasn't bad by any means, but it was just still kind of like a down year. They were kind of like trying to make a name for themselves, and it was okay. Also, they didn't really fit the whole, youth taking over kind of thing when Finn Balor and Damian Priest were literally old as hell. Didn't really make much sense. Like, they were damn near Cope's age, so it's like, yeah, not Cope, but like Edge at the time, because I think they were like late 30s by that point, because Damian Priest is now 42 and Finn Balor is 43. Yeah, no, they were like the late 30s. Then they actually might have been 40 around that point, or at least Finn Balor was 40 around that point for sure. Yeah, no, they might try with like a younger group or something like that, but I'm excited to see what happens between Toni Storm and Megan Bayne. You definitely can't have Megan Bayne take a clean pin here, but you also can't really have Toni Storm lose already. There is a world, though, that I could see potentially Toni Storm maybe gets, maybe she gets like counted out. Maybe like Megan Bayne just takes her out on like the side of the ring and then forgets to bring her back into the ring because she is a rookie and that's what cost her the win. Then we could have Megan Bayne just go like on like a complete rampage and just destroying Toni Storm. She could even bring back Rampage. She could be like the face of Rampage if you really wanted to. Or we could do Shockwave at any point in time. what if like Shockwave was like their Judgment Day? That'd be pretty interesting because they did have reports of it, but we all kind of thought it was a show. Nobody actually had any kind of information on what the heck Shockwave was though. So yeah, no, I would probably go that direction. I think having Toni Storm get counted out and then Megan Bayne just destroys her afterwards. Or heck, maybe you even have Megan Bayne and Toni Storm both get counted out because Megan Bayne is just like destroying her on like the outside and then neither one of them gets back into the ring. You could also go that way as well. I think both of them should be protected, though, because Toni Storm can't lose the belt just yet. I know people were saying that, like, she could already lose the belt because, you know, she's a 3-time AEW Women's World Champion, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, I thought she was already a 4-time AEW Women's World Champion, but I guess she might be a 3... No, she is a 4-time because she won it, and then she lost it to Hikaru Shida. Then she got it back from Sarai. Wait. No, she is a 3-time because she got it back from Saraya, and then she eventually lost it to Mariah. And then she got it back from Mariah. Never mind. No, she's a 3-time. I could have sworn she was a 4-time already, though, but I think you don't want to have her lose this quick. I think having her lose that All In to Athena would be much better than having her lose to Megan Bayne this soon. You also don't want to push Megan Bayne that quickly because while Megan Bayne has been wrestling since like 2017, she still has a long ways to go. I think the ring work has been, like, it's been fine, but I haven't been blown away by any means. The thing that blows me away the most is her stature. This is a big, meaty woman right here. My goodness, man. And her and Chris Statlander was slapping some big meat with each other. Ah, man, you love to see the big, meaty folk just slapping meat, just slapping that meat. But, yeah, no, I haven't been blown away by her any means, so I think right now, still a bit too early to give her that belt. I would probably wait a few more months down the line. Like I said, I would have her dethroning Mercedes Moné to get the TBS championship off of her, unless you do want to have her dethrone Mercedes. But for the Ring of Honor championship, maybe you're still not completely sold on Billie Starkz yet. Maybe you want to give Billie Starkz some more time before she does become the Ring of Honor Women's Champion. So you want to give it to Megan Bayne first, because Billie is only like 20, 21 years old. Megan Bayne, I want to say, is like, last time I checked, I think it said like 26, but I could be wrong on that. Did I say 1998? Okay, she's 26, yeah. Yeah, she's a year younger than me. So I think this is probably the best time to push Megan Bayne in like a Ring of Honor championship, a TBS championship, but I would not give her the AEW Women's World Championship. Yeah, I just don't think she's ready for it. I think that's way too soon. Toni Storm could lose it to somebody else, but I also feel like Toni Storm shouldn't lose it anytime soon until at least All In. That's around, she got it in March, so March, April, May, June, July. That's 5-month reign. I'm fine with that, to be honest. I don't think she needs to lose it within like a month or two, though. That just wouldn't make any sense. But speaking of Mercedes and Billie Starkz, though, that match was absolutely phenomenal. If it wasn't for that fatal 4-way between Speedball, Mike Bailey, Ricochet, not Kenny Omega, Mark Davis, and Orange Cassidy, I would have said Mercedes versus Billie Starkz was match of the night. There was also like a few little mishaps here and there that I really hope don't hold back Billie Starkz, and I hope that those aren't the reasons why she could potentially, get the Shinsuke Nakamura treatment where Shinsuke injured John Cena and that just screwed him over for like the rest of his career, at least under Vince. I hope that doesn't happen with Billie Starkz because she did drop Mercedes Moné on her head a couple times. I don't think it will, though. I think Mercedes Moné knows that Billie Starkz is still pretty green when it comes to wrestling, and that she's the one that really gave her the opportunity. So yeah, I would have hoped that Mercedes Moné would have a bit of a heart, and I'm pretty sure she would. From every interaction I've seen from Mercedes Moné, seems like a very like down to earth kind of person. I haven't actually ever seen her come off the way that people say she has. Like when you see her play a face or play a heel, even when she's like away from wrestling, she still seems the exact same way, whether she is currently in that face or heel role. So I think that she's probably going to be just like, whatever, stuff happens. You're young. We got a lot of time. I will say, though, I think she better tell her not to do that swanton ever again. At least don't do it off the middle rope. Oh, my gosh. I thought she was going to break her neck when Billie Starkz did that. That swanton, I'm sorry, Billie. You my dog and all. That swanton ugly as hell. That swanton is disgusting. Oh my gosh. And I know, I'm not a wrestler, can't speak on wrestlers. Bruh, I'm sorry. I can say something ugly, and that swanton just it doesn't hit for me. I like Alba Fire's. Jeff Hardy's is probably the best one. Kevin Owens is also a really good argument for the best one, though. Tiffany Stratton has a pretty good one as well. So does Charlotte. I think I've seen Cody do a swanton, but I could be thinking of somebody else. Actually, no, I'm thinking of a moonsault from Cody Rhodes. So, yeah, I just don't want to see Billie Starkz do it anytime soon, or at least do it off like the top rope or like a ladder. Don't do it off of like the middle rope onto like the floor. It just it did not look good at all. But the match overall, though, it was an absolutely phenomenal match. They put on a 4-star match in my opinion. They really did their thing out there. Billie Starkz, like I said, she showed a lot. The crowd work, the charisma was all definitely there. And, you know, Mercedes Moné took a few shots after the match, though. She definitely did. I thought Athena was going to come out after the match, but Mercedes Moné said, if you ain't going to come out, then I'm going to come to you. Hey, man, I don't know who trained Shorty, but, man, her trainer trash. Her trainer is garbage. If I trained her, oh, she'd be the best woman wrestler right now. But her trainer, though, she is trash. Trash. This is definitely leading to Mercedes versus Athena. I don't know where it's going to happen. I'm assuming it's going to happen at Dynasty. I would love to see it happen at Dynasty. I think it might happen at Double or Nothing, though, instead. But I want it to happen at Dynasty because I want to see Athena in the match against Toni Storm at All In. I think that would be the best woman to dethrone Toni Storm. I don't think there's really another woman right now that could dethrone Toni Storm. I think you have Chris Statlander. Willow Nightingale is always a great option if you do want to go that route. I just feel like you haven't built it up enough. Like, we have Darby Allin going in, and, you know, Darby Allin has, like, some build there with the story of Jon Moxley. So if he is the guy to dethrone Jon Moxley, at least you have all that story there. With Willow Nightingale, we haven't really pushed her like that this past year. We haven't really, you know, we haven't done, like, a thing of, like, she keeps coming up short, or she keeps putting in hard-fought matches, but, you know, she's just not getting her title opportunities, and she really does deserve them. Like, we haven't done any of that with Willow Nightingale, so I don't think Willow would be great right now, unless, you know, you want to just push that. Like, you have Willow Nightingale win the Owen Hart Cup tournament, and then she just goes on like this big old thing that I've been overlooked, and I'm tired of being overlooked. I'm tired of everybody saying that, you know, that this woman's the best, or that woman's the best, or that woman's the best. When last year, I was the best woman. I was the one without a dang belt, and I'm still getting rated in the top 10 by PW Insider. I'm the one around here who's been really carrying this company, not all these other women. So if they really want to have her go on that kind of thing, and she turns it heel, air quotes around a heel, but more of like a justified heel, I wouldn't be mad at that at all. I actually would really, really, really love to see that. I just think that I really want Athena to win, man, because I want Athena by a major wrestling promotion that is not Ring of Honor, because sorry, Ring of Honor is dead. By AEW or WWE, I want her to get what she's deserved, which is getting that top woman's belt from one of the top wrestling companies in the dang world. She deserves it so much. She got screwed over by Vince McMahon. She had a breakout match against Asuka, and they just did absolutely nothing with her. So I want to see the best for Athena, and I want Athena to get this match against Toni Storm and be able to go on to dethrone her and have as long of a reign as we think that she should have. I'm going to say a year. I say one big year. Let her just dominate the entire division. Let her go through Mercedes Moné, Toni Storm, Mariah May, Megan Bayne, Chris Statlander, Willow Nightingale, every single person that you want her to go up against. I think she should just dominate the whole dang division the exact same way that she did in Ring of Honor, and then maybe you have someone else come to dethrone her like a year later or something like that. Maybe you have Billie Starkz be the one to dethrone her. I wouldn't even be mad at that. About 2 years in, because that'll be about next year. So it'll be like all of this year and then all of next year. Let's say she holds it until like sometime past All In, or maybe even at All In. No, actually, I want her to win at All In as well. I want her to get, well, she could lose her second All In to Billie Starkz. I wouldn't mind that. Then Billie Starkz get the big old moment. Yeah, I actually would not mind that at all. I just want to see a year-long reign where she's just dominating every single dang person, because that is what Billie Starkz deserves, man. She deserves that so much. I mean, not Billie Starkz. That's what Athena deserves so much, man. She is just... she's one of the best wrestlers on the dang planet, if not the best wrestler right now. I said Toni Storm is like the best wrestler, but I'm talking about just all around. But to be fair, I think Athena can really go bar for bar with her in almost every area, except maybe the mic. I think the mic work is... I think Athena's mic work is really, really good. Don't get me wrong. I think it's like, it just doesn't measure up to Toni Storm's. Like, one day we're going to have the discussion of Toni Storm versus AJ Lee when it comes to promos. Things going to get real nasty. I already know it, folks. Going to be putting down one or to big up the other. I still got AJ Lee as number one mic worker all time for the women. I think she's top 2 with CM Punk. But Toni Storm is getting there, man. She's She's getting there, but no, I want to see Athena. I really want to see Athena be the one to dethrone Toni. I don't want it to be Megan Bayne. I think we should hold off on that, and I think we should also not hold off on this Speedball Mike Bailey versus Kenny Omega versus Ricochet match. We should start talking about it because this match is going to be match of the night. The Fatal 4-Way was already match of the week in my opinion, and probably non-pay-per-view match of the month. I would say it probably goes. Well, let's see. We're in March still. When did Liv and them dethrone? No, that was February. Yeah, because it was literally the last day of, it was like it was the last week of Black History Month that we were making a whole bunch of jokes that Triple H would have his women's tag team champions lose in like the last week of Black History Month. That's crazy, man. Oh my God, we had everybody lose except for Oba Femi, man. He held it down for us. Man. That's a Black King right there. That's the ruler of NXT. Oh my gosh, man. Look at that guy. Big meaty guy holding it down for us, man. Good job, Oba. But no, I think there was already match of the month in my opinion. And this match is just going to be, I think it has a chance to rival Swerve versus Ricochet. I think it has a chance to rival Will versus Kenny. I mean, not Will versus Kenny, Will versus Kyle. I think it really does have a chance to rival those because this is just, Speedball Mike Bailey, he showed the heck out in this Fatal 4-Way, man. I said before, the only thing holding back Speedball Mike Bailey from being the top wrestler in a company is his dang mic work because of the fact that his ring work gets him there. His ring work is phenomenal. This dude might literally be one of, if not the best ring workers in the wrestling right now. It's probably the likes of him, Will Ospreay, Konosuke Takeshita, Kenny Omega. I'm still going to give credit to Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes as well. I think these guys also are some of the best ring workers. They're some of the best ring workers in wrestling right now. So Speedball Mike Bailey, though, is the one guy here that of all these guys, I think he cannot be the face of a company. Oh, and Swerve Strickland, too. Definitely Swerve Strickland. He's the one guy, though, that just can't be the face of a company because he does not have the mic skills that they have. If he ever did get those mic skills, though, he could easily be the face. Maybe the mullet kind of throws people off, but I think the mullet's a little unique. I'm not too mad at it. I am so ready for this match, man, because even Ricochet looked good in the Fatal 4-Way. And I mean, Ricochet is always going to look good, but I was a bit worried because a lot of people started saying, like, is Ricochet losing momentum? I think there's a real possibility that he could start losing if he takes the pin at Dynasty, but I think there's also a real world where you could have Mark Davis get involved in this match because I think Mark Davis and Mark Davis and Speedball Mike Bailey are gonna have like a little short mini feud. I could see a world where leading up to Dynasty we get Speedball and Kenny versus Mark Davis and Ricochet, and then we have like we'll probably have Kenny and Speedball win. They'll have like a little face off afterwards. Ricochet might get back in the ring to set up just have like that little triple threat moment between the three. I could even see Ricochet. I wouldn't want him to take the pin. Maybe he takes like a roll up of sorts, but I wouldn't want him to take the pin though because I want Ricochet to be able to feud with Kenny Omega going forward. And there is the role where you could have him feud. I just think that if he takes the pin, Speedball Mike Bailey has a very real a very real fight to say, hey, I didn't get pinned. I want a rematch against you because we do have I think it's 7-8 weeks in between Dynasty and Double or Nothing. Let me just make sure I'm counting that right. We have 1, 2, clicked on my dang phone. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we have 6 weeks in between AEW's Dynasty and Double or Nothing. It might be 5, actually. No, actually, it might be. No, wait, Dynasty's on the 5th, right? It's not on the 8th. How the heck would it be on a Tuesday? Wait. Whenever it is. It's basically 6 weeks, 5 weeks in between. I could see a world where we could still have Kenny Omega versus both Speedball, Mike Bailey, and Ricochet sometime, maybe 2 international matches before the big match between him and Kazuchika Okada, which I assume is going to be happening at Double or Nothing. I don't know how you get Ricochet back in the match is the only issue. Unless we're going to start putting Ricochet with the Don Callis family and then Don Callis gets him a match. But no, you could put him with the Hurt Syndicate. Maybe that gets him a match. I think, though, if you have Speedball take them. Oh, my gosh. This is actually really weird. This is just like Megan Bayne and Toni Storm because you want to continue 2 potential matches, but there's not really a way to do it unless you have Kenny Omega get like a quick roll up on Ricochet, and then, you know, he says that I had you beat if it wasn't for Speedball, and then that pushes Speedball and Ricochet. No, I mean, Ricochet and Kenny Omega, then we get Speedball. I don't even know how you would do that. Unless we do Speedball versus Ricochet for number one contenders for the international match, and then we have that match happen, and then we have like the match happen wherever. You can have it like a week or two after Dynasty. I think the Speedball versus Ricochet should happen like the week after Dynasty. I mean, the week after Dynasty. So whatever that like the next closest Dynamite is, that's when that should happen. And then we have Speedball or Ricochet versus Kenny Omega, and then we start leaning into Kenny Omega versus Kazuchika Okada, because whenever that feud does happen, it's gonna need to be as big as we possibly can get it. And I think it's gonna need a few weeks of build up, not like anything like 4 or 5 weeks, but I think it needs at least 2 to 3 weeks of build up. That's about 2 shows every week. It should also main event Double or Nothing if we do have that match at Double or Nothing, because of how big of a moment it's going to be for AEW. Not only are we getting, part 5 now to Kenny Omega versus Kazuchika Okada, but we're also going to be getting the potential unification of the international belt and the continental belt as well. So I think they should be main eventing. Although there's a very real world where they don't have the main event because they just choose not to, because Tony Khan is a weird little man when it comes to booking a match card. My goodness, he gets the matches right. He just don't know how to place them. Tony Khan, bro. Listen to me real quick. Just hit me up, bro. Just hit me up. I will book your dang match card. Because my goodness, man, it's just like every once in a while you get it right, but there's just too many times where you get it wrong. Hit me up. Hit up Ash. My email is in my dang thing. It should be somewhere in there. Hit me up. I got you, man. I'll be your match booker or whatever the heck you're going to call him. Actually, I'll be your booker, man. Let me go ahead and book the matches as well. But let's go ahead and dive in from there, or transition from there on over to our next topic, which is the hype for the Young Nigga World Order. Actually, before we leave this, there was a reason why I ended the AEW section with the Ricochet, was because of the fact that I wanted to go from that to who should join the Hurt Syndicate between Ricochet, MJF, and Cedric Alexander, because a lot of people have been saying there's reports of Cedric Alexander potentially joining. I know there was a picture with him and the Hurt Syndicate that went around. I don't know if that's like a recent picture or not, though. I don't know when that picture was actually taken. It was definitely sometime this year or past year, but I don't know exactly when. And there's also reports that he's been like around AEW as well. So I'm not mad if it is Cedric Alexander, but I'm going to be honest with you. In my opinion, I think it should be Ricochet. I don't think MJF should join. If he's going to join anybody, he should join the Don Callis family, because he kind of fits them more, where the Hurt Syndicate is going after gold. The Don Callis family is focused on every other thing than gold right now. You have Takeshita just doing random matches now. He's not even trying to get back into the international picture. He didn't even try to get a rematch against Kenny Omega. You got Kyle Fletcher focused on Will Ospreay, probably still focused on him as well. You got Lance Archer and Brian Cage, kind of like, focused on the Hurt Syndicate, but not really focused on the Hurt Syndicate. I think MJF fits that a lot more, because he should be focused on the AEW World Championship. He said he was going to be focused on the AEW World Championship after the Adam Cole stuff. Then he goes and fights some retirement home folks. So I don't know what the heck happened there. I think joining the Hurt Syndicate, though, it won't really align with the character as much with MJF. Although, like I said in the last episode, that whole theory I had with the Hurt Syndicate eventually turning on MJF, if you did want to go that way, I'm not mad at it. But I would love to see Ricochet join the group if anybody's going to join it, because Ricochet deserves this. He's the guy that came from WWE, that we all knew he was an amazing wrestler, but nobody knew that he could be this big of a star. Everybody thought he was going to go to AEW and just be a jobber, and he has proven everybody wrong that he is an amazing mic worker. He's not as bad as we actually thought, and now a lot of folk actually know how he was able to pull Samantha Irvin. So there we go. We stamped that one out, but he's also just shown that, you guys all had these negative beliefs of me, and I just made every one of y'all look stupid. I laughed in every one of y'all faces. Aha! I can't do it. It's stupid. It's so annoying. I can't do the laugh, though. It reminds me of Liv Morgan. They're absolutely just amazing laughs. Liv Morgan, Ricochet, and Seth Rollins all have top-tier laughs, in my opinion. So, yeah, no, if anybody's going to get that chance to be in the Hurt Syndicate, potentially be a future world champion, I'm going to give it to Ricochet before I give it to MJF. I think MJF, he's done a lot already in AEW. He already has the longest reigning world championship record. I do understand, though, that he is still a pretty young guy. I think he's like 28, 29 now. So you do want to still show that you value him, but I also feel like you want to show you value Ricochet as well. Somebody that came to your company and turned into a star and, did, I'm assuming, as what he promised that he was going to do, which was be that guy that a lot of people didn't think he could be. I completely love MJF. I think MJF is one of the pillars, one of the pillars of AEW. But I think there's other ways that you can go with MJF. You can give him big storylines to be in. I don't think he needs to be in that world title picture just yet. He was in it in 2023, 2024. I don't think he needs to be there yet. 2025, though, you could eventually have him get the world title from somebody by not being aligned with the Hurt Syndicate. Heck, you could even have MJF dethrone Ricochet if he eventually gets that world title. Or you even have Ricochet just go to the Hurt Syndicate but not get the world title. Instead, he goes after like the TNT belt or something like that. I wouldn't, or even maybe like the Intercontinental belt, if it turns into an Intercontinental belt. You have him go after one of those belts, and then you have MJF go after the world title still. I just think the guy that should get this opportunity is Ricochet because he has shown the most. I feel like he's been the breakout star for AEW's 2025. I feel like he is probably the breakout star of 2025. I had my breakout stars a couple episodes ago, and I really should have mentioned Ricochet because of everything that he's shown so far. But now, let's go ahead and jump into that new group, the Young World Order. Now, I'm not even going to lie to y'all, man. When it comes to this group, I put all my chips into them, all right, man? I ain't got no chips here, but here's my Boruto Funko Pop. I'm putting all of my chips in, man. This group right here, they have everything. They have everything. You got the superstar already in Saquon Sugars. Dion Lennox looks like just a natural on the mic. Osiris Griffin, I have a lot of belief in. He gives off that menacing aura. Color James is the guy I'm a bit worried about. I think he might get lost a bit in the sauce, but you never know, man. Maybe he might show us something. I think, though, just being led by Saquon Sugars, if he is the leader, or if there's like no leader and they're all just kind of like how the Shield were, that might be the best way to go about it. Instead of having them be led by Saquon, he should be kind of like that more Dean Ambrose with the Shield kind, where he spoke the most on the mic because he was the most natural on the mic, but we all knew that these guys were equal to each other. I think if you go that route, then you got to figure out what you're going to do with Osiris Griffin and Dion Lennox, because they can't be the same archetype. I think that's just not going to work at all. You got to have Dion Lennox probably be more of the athletic powerhouse, and then have Osiris Griffin be more of the Roman Reigns, just straight powerhouse type. If Cutler James is a lot more technical, I like that as well. And Osiris Griffin, you just let him just shine. You let that guy just do his thing in the ring, and you allow him just to be the star that he is. I don't think he should get held back in the way that Swerve Strickland was held back with Hit Row, where Top Dollar and Asante the Adonis and B-Fab just were nowhere near Swerve's level in terms of literally anything. I think you should not do that with this group at all. You should allow them to all, you should allow Saquon to shine. You should allow the other guys to try to catch up to Saquon, so that even if the other guys don't catch up and they kind of just become jobbers in the future, you at least still have something with Saquon. You didn't waste him away, because if he becomes a free agent, let me tell you right now, AEW is going to pick that man back up again. I cannot believe AEW don't let that boy go away. I don't know how you actually allow that to happen. AEW, that one is definitely a fumble right there. The same way WWE fumbled Toni Storm is the same way that AEW fumbled Saquon Sugars. And my goodness, was this a big fumble, because this guy right now could be on the main roster. I think he could be a mid-card star. I think you could put that belt onto him. I think you could put this guy into like the World Championship pictures. I'm being so serious when I say this. I would rather see Saquon Sugars versus Jey Uso. I would rather see Saquon Sugars versus Gunther. I would rather see Saquon Sugars with the dang World Heavyweight Championship than Gunther. I would rather see Cody Rhodes versus Saquon Sugars than Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. I'm just going to be real with you. This guy is he's just that dang good. Watch this guy and you know what I'm saying. Allow this guy to be a solo star, or even just allow him to catch the fire that I think he's going to catch in like the next year. He's going to be the star of the group. He's going to be the guy that goes on to be a multi-time world champion, multi-time mid-card champion. But I think right now what should be utilized with this group is, what am I thinking of? What's the word I'm looking of? Changing tag teams, because you're not going to be able to find other four-man groups to be able to do a 4v4 with. You can find some 3v3s as well, but I think the changing tag team is really going to work for this group, where you have Saquon and Dion, Saquon and Cutler, Saquon and Osiris and Dion, and etc., etc., etc. Y'all get, I was going to do the whole thing, but y'all get exactly how it should go. I think that's what should happen with this group. I think it'd be best because it allows each of the guys to get shown off while still having the other guys, not get completely lost because of the fact that they are still able to be in matches with Saquon or even in matches with each other, because I would love to see Dion Lennox and Osiris Griffin go against other folks, because it could be similar to how Final Testament was, where you had Karrion Kross with Akam and Razor, and they were two straight powerhouses who had similar styles, but once this group really caught fire, people stopped caring about the fact that, they had two similar powerhouses. So while I said that Osiris and Dion should maybe be different from each other, if the group catches fire, then it doesn't really matter because everybody's going to love the group. Now, for the future of Dion and Osiris, I think that's where they should, kind of focus on being a bit more individualized and not so carbon copy of each other. But I'm super hyped for this group, man. I think they have everything it takes to really just take NXT by storm. I could see a world where Saquon Sugars dethrones somebody, whether it be Shawn Spears or Obafemi or whoever's holding them dang belts within the next few months. I could see Saquon Sugars dethroning them for those belts. I would love to see a world where Saquon Sugars is the NXT champion. You have Cutler James maybe be like the tag. Maybe Cutler James is a part of like one of the two tag teams, and he's one of the two. Maybe Cutler James is with either Dion Lennox or Osiris Griffin is a much easier way to word that for myself, and they'd have like a tag team, and then one of the other guys gets the North American belt, or one of the guys gets the North American belt, and then the other two form a tag team. I would love to just see these guys kind of be like Undisputed Era, where they're just holding all the gold, and we're just ushering in this new era of Darkstate. I really hate the name of the group. I'm sorry. It doesn't feel right, man. They really got to change that name. I don't know why they went with Darkstate 4. It's so bad. You can't call him YNWO, though, because Cutler James ain't no YN. He's the exact opposite of a YN, actually. I think he might not. I'm going to be real with you. When somebody in my chat told me that there were two football players in the group, I thought that was Jake Elliott for a second from the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm like, oh, this is where you were the entire year. This is why you're missing so many dang kicks during the regular season, because you was over here trying to be a dang wrestler with the YNs. Like, oh my goodness, man. But no, I want to see big things for them, and I also want no leader for this group as well, because I think it'd just be best for them. I don't think like Saquon should be the leader, or Cutler, or Dion, or Osiris, or anybody else. I think they should just be like the Shield, be as even as they possibly can to each other while not holding anybody back. And I also think that if you do go no leader, that maybe the others, because they're not under as much pressure to catch up to a superstar like a Trick Williams or an Obafemi or Mustafa Ali or a Ricky Saints or whoever, maybe then, because they're only having to catch up to Saquon, who, again, he's definitely a natural, but he's not a big superstar in WWE yet. Maybe it's not as much pressure for them to catch up, and they actually are able to catch up. Although when I did list out these potential leaders, I did say that there is a con that if Saquon, who in this one promo already is growing on so many people, if he does become a superstar pretty quickly, does that hurt the rest of the group? Because now you're kind of going into what I said with Trick, Mustafa, Oba, etc., that you're really having to have these guys who maybe aren't ready to catch up to a superstar. So there is that as well. And I'm going to be real, that's basically the same thing for Trick, Oba, and Mustafa. The big con of, because those are my other three. Like, if there is a potential leader, it's one of those three. The issue with all those would be that you're having all these guys catch up to a superstar. Now, they all have different kind of cons, because Trick and Mustafa have the con of, if you're dethroning Obafemi, you have to have a generational type run. I don't think Trick can have that. Trick has already had 2 runs. I think people are kind of getting over Trick now. They're probably just done with him. They're like, you know what? We don't really care. He hasn't shown us much over this past year. He didn't really ever show us much when he came in, to be honest. And I hate to speak about Trick like that, but it's just, Trick is literally an aura merchant. Like, the way that people say that Jey Uso's an aura merchant, no, Trick is 1000% aura merchant. I have not seen anything from him at all that has just showed me that he is the face of the company. I don't see it. So I think if you go with Mustafa, at least you're going in the direction of somebody that is loved by the WWE fandom, somebody that we all felt should have gotten some kind of singles gold at some point in time, but sadly never did get that singles gold. This could be kind of a retribution in a sense, no pun intended, because he did have retribution. This group would basically be his retribution. But Double no pun intended, by the way. But like maybe you can have him be the first TNA guy to be the NXT champion, and maybe he could have a generational run because of the fact that he hasn't faced any of these guys in NXT, so he could have a really big feud with them. I think the only problem for anybody really that's leading this group is, where are your faces in NXT? Who are your faces? Oba, is he a face? I don't know. Trick, is he a face? I don't know. Javon Evans, face, yes. Ethan Page, no. Tony D'Angelo, I don't think he's even a big enough name. I think he's also kind of just, he's probably also falling within that Trick realm of people are just kind of over Tony D'Angelo. I still like Tony D. I think he's actually really dang good. I would love to see what he could do with the family. I think the family should have always also probably been used a lot better and, you know, looked more like a dang Italian mob sort of things. That's the vibe you were going with, but you didn't really go with that because you got a bunch of guys in like just streetwear and all that stuff, so it's really, really just odd fitting with the group, but there's just no other faces. There's none. So it's like, what does Mustafa, like, who does he face? Are you going to potentially bring Austin Theory down there, turn him into a face, and have him go against Mustafa? I mean, sure, but no, you're not doing that. There's literally nobody for this guy to face. I think the best way to go about it would be going with Obafemi, because then you could at least have him have like this whole, the ruler of NXT gimmick get expanded on a lot more. Get expanded upon a lot more because of the fact that now he's really ruling NXT. He's having his hounds of justice, in a sense, go after all the NXT locker room and just taking everybody out, which is why I really wish they had a woman in the group, because then it would be even cooler because she could go after a lot of the women in the group as well. But I think this would be the best way to go about it. The only issue is, you're having Obafemi go on a year-long run potentially again, and he's already had a year-long run and dominated all the dang wrestlers in the NXT locker room. So could this run potentially be stale? I think there's always that case to make, that this could be a really stale run because he has nobody to face. NXT is in dire need of faces, man. They need some faces that are big names, or at least big enough names. Like, they've been signing all these big name women. Go around and sign some big name dudes as well, because clearly you need some, man. Ricky Saints, sure, he's there, but he's probably gonna be like the North American champion. You're not really gonna put him up against any of your top guys, because you probably do want Ricky Saints to eventually hold that top belt. So whenever he does go for it, he's likely gonna be getting it. So you can't really push Ricky versus Mustafa or Ricky versus Trick or Ricky versus Oba anytime soon, because you're gonna have him dethrone one of those guys. I think if you do have Ricky dethrone somebody, it probably should be Mustafa, though, not Oba, because we can't have Oba lose to two guys that are way smaller than him now, back-to-back, in terms of his championships getting dethroned. So, yeah, I would go with Oba. I don't really like it with Oba, though, because of the fact that it just doesn't feel the most right, because if Obafemi's the leader of this group and they help him out to stand deliver, and it is Obafemi versus Trick Williams, are we basically making Obafemi look soft in the sense that he needs help to beat Trick Williams of all people? Like, when CM Punk had the Shield for a minute, it was because he was a much smaller guy that it didn't hurt him at all. He was going against the likes of Ryback, John Cena, Big Show, Sheamus. So these much bigger guys than him, it made sense for a smaller dude like CM Punk to have the Shield. For Obafemi, who is bigger than me and I am 6'3", it doesn't make any sense for this guy to have them. He's also much bigger than me in body size too. I'm a lot smaller. So it's like, I don't really like that for Obafemi. I feel like Obafemi should just be on his own. I feel like the YNWO should be on their own. I don't think they should be led by Trick Williams, because I don't think Trick Williams is going to have a generational run. Mustafa Ali, I do like the thought of it, because then you could eventually lead to like a War Games type thing. You could like lead to like a War Games type thing where Mustafa and the YNWO versus like the heroes of NXT or something like that. You could go that way. I would just probably go with these guys being led by nobody, but let's go ahead and jump on into our NXT Stand Deliver prediction. Okay, I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. The way that it took me like a few days to actually predict this dang card, and now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, wow, it was this easy. Darkstate made this the hardest thing, because I was like, bro, they have to be at NXT Stand Deliver. Like, there's no way you're not going to have these guys, your new big group, your new group that you're really trying to push. There's no way you're not going to have them there. And mind you, I don't have them there technically. I have Saquon Sugars there, but I don't have Darkstate there. But I do have Darkstate helping out Saquon Sugars versus Tony D'Angelo at NXT Stand Deliver. So that's one of my matches. Then I have Roxanne Perez versus Bayley. I don't think it needs to happen at WrestleMania. It's much better to happen at Stand Deliver because then Bayley gets her Stand Deliver moment. You have Roxanne also get a big moment as well. She also might get lost in that WrestleMania card. You have her here. Much better for her. I also think that she probably should go over Bayley. I would have her win, just like Saquon Sugars is defeating Toni D'Angelo. I would also have the NXT Women's North American title, Stephanie Valkyrie versus Kalani Jordan versus Sol Ruka versus Cora Jade versus Izzy Dame versus maybe Tatum Paxley, maybe take Izzy Dame out and you put Carmen Petrovic. I just would have something like that. Maybe even have Jada Parker in there as well. Although you're going to have Jada Parker versus Stephanie Valkyrie soon, so maybe you're not going to throw Jada Parker back into the NXT North American title picture. Maybe you have her after Stand and Deliver, so she might end up missing this card. I don't have her here, to be honest. This match, though, I do have Stephanie Valkyrie winning. I think she's going to hold both belts for a little longer. I don't think it's going to be dropped anytime soon. Also, you could have Fallon Henley in this match, but Fallon Henley also has a match with Stephanie Valkyrie this Tuesday as well, so I guess we're doing double duty with Stephanie Valkyrie, man. I didn't think it was going to be the best idea, but all right, I guess. And then we also have the men's NXT North American title. I have Shawn Spears versus Ricky Saints. Ricky Saints is easily winning this match. I don't think it's going to be that much of a challenge. This is the match where I might go grab some food. I ain't going to lie to you. Then we have the NXT Tag Team titles of Fraxium versus Hank and Tank versus the Colings, Nico Vance and Brooks Jensen versus Josh Briggs and Yoshihiko Inamura. I think you really want to show all these groups off because you've kind of been pushing them over the past few weeks. I have Fraxium retaining, and I do still believe that they're going to be the ones to unify all three tag belts, in my opinion. If you don't, though, I would like to see Josh Briggs and Yoshihiko Inamura get these belts. Then for the NXT women's title is Stephanie Valkyrie versus Jordynne Grace. That one's already been set up. I have Stephanie winning that one as well. Then for the NXT men's title, I'm going Oba Femi versus Trick Williams versus Javon Evans. You just had them get involved in this whole little standoff between Trick and Oba. There's no way you're not having Javon in this match, although I'm going to be real with you. It's a bit soon. I would have added an 8th match to this card, but I only picked 7 because last year it only had 7. I would instead have Javon Evans versus Lexis King for the Heritage Cup. That would be much better in my opinion. I don't think you need to put him in that big match yet. If you are going to have Obafemi, Trick Williams, and Javon, though, I think it should probably open the show. Then you should have Stephanie Valkyrie and Jordynne Grace closing the show. I hate that that's going to be the case because you just had to get your 2 biggest signings to finally give the women the main event. To give the women the main event this year, but last year you had Roxanne and Lyra, who had easily the best story going in, who were easily carrying NXT, and you said, yeah, no, we're going with Trick and Mello. Don't like it at all. They didn't even have the belt on them. You had Ilya and Toni right there, no belt. So, yeah, I hate that we're doing this. I would have loved to see Roxanne get the main event. Maybe we go Roxanne versus Bayley main event this year, but you haven't even been building it up enough, which is crazy because you've been building it up for like 2 whole months now, but you haven't been building it up the past few weeks. So, yeah, I don't really know what you do there. I think the match card is going to play out like this. I would have Oba Femi versus Trick Williams versus Javon Evans opening the show. Then I would have... I'm going to go with the NXT Women's North American title. If you're going to have Stephanie Valkyrie defending it twice in one night and winning both matches, those matches should be at least separated enough. You could also have her opening the show as well, but opening and closing, you're doing the most there with Stephanie Valkyrie. So I would have her be the second match. Then I would go Roxanne versus Bayley, Saquon Sugars versus Toni D'Angelo. I would go the tag team fatal 4-way match. Then I would go with the men's North American title of Shawn Spears versus Ricky Saints. Then I would close the show off with Stephanie Valkyrie versus Jordynne Grace. And I think this is probably going to be close enough to the card. I'm assuming Fraxium is going to be... I assume all your champions are going to be there besides Lexis King. So, yeah, unless they do have, like, a Lexis King match there, they end up having, like, an 8th match, which I'm not mad at. I think they're going to stick with the 7-card format, though, because that's what WrestleMania had last year. That's what Stand and Deliver had last year. Wouldn't make any sense to have 8 matches be this year, especially under Triple H as well. So, yeah, I think it's going to be this 7-card matchup. I could see a world where maybe Lexis King gets into the card. I don't know who you would take out. Unless you really just want Roxanne versus Bayley at WrestleMania instead of being a Stand Deliver, then you would have Lexis King versus... I'm going Javon Evans. I'm taking Javon out of the title match, and I'm putting him into that match. I think you have Oba and Trick earlier in the match. Earlier on the cards. It's probably still opening the show unless you want to have Saquon Sugars versus Toni D'Angelo open up the show, or you really want that Women's North American title match to open the show. I probably would go with Trick and Oba, though. I think that's the best opener in my opinion. And if you have Javon there, it's going to be a really, really entertaining match. I think Trick and Oba are just... I'm sorry, they're not going to tear the house down, though, because Trick Williams is just not a good wrestler, in my opinion. Yeah, no, but let's go ahead and end things off with a look back at the 2016 WWE NXT Call-Ups. Now, before we jump into this, I want to see if y'all can guess the order of these NXT call-ups. There is a total of 11 rounds. The first 6 were on SmackDown, 7 through 11 were on the WWE Draft Center Live, which was on the WWE Network, and the 6 call-ups were Finn Balor, Carmella, Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax, American Alpha, and Mojo Rawley. Go ahead and pause the podcast, give you a couple seconds to think about it, and let's go ahead and get into this. In the first round with the 5th pick was Finn Balor. Obviously makes sense. Super big star out of New Japan. Was doing some pretty decent things in NXT as well, although I thought that his second run was a lot better than his first run, in my opinion. Then, in the 5th round, the 22nd pick drafted on over to SmackDown was the American Alpha. Interesting. I thought they were a decent team in NXT around this time. I didn't think they were that great by any means. Then in that same round with the 25th pick was Nia Jax. We're going to get into why that one just makes zero sense in my opinion. Now we're on to the WWE Draft Center Live, because those first 6 picks, like I said, those were the first 6 rounds were all on SmackDown. So the next 3 picks, they were all drafted over to SmackDown as well, but they were not on SmackDown show. So 2 picks that went to Raw were on SmackDown show. The next 3, though, they were not on the show, and that was in the 9th round. 47th pick was Alexa Bliss. In the 11th round, 57th pick was Mojo Rawley, and then the 11th round, 59th pick was Carmella. I do not get this at all, because check this. Alexa Bliss, of all of these wrestlers that I named, no offense to Finn Balor, Carmella also got a championship as well, but no offense to Finn Balor. Of all of these picks, the only one to actually be a champion in their first year was Alexa Bliss, who was a 2-time SmackDown Women's Champion, dethroned Becky Lynch, and then dethroned Naomi. Well, not really dethroned. Naomi vacated it, but yeah, you kind of get what I mean. She's a 2-time SmackDown Women's Champion with a total of 69 days and 42 days. She was 4-2 against Becky Lynch. She lost her first match, won the next 2, lost the next one, and then went on to just win the last 2 of them. Then you had her beat Naomi in a 1v1, but then Naomi eventually ended up beating her after that. So she was 1-1 against Naomi, who was a 2-time SmackDown champion. She was 4-2 against Becky Lynch, who was the inaugural SmackDown Women's Champion. If you had all this planned, why the heck did you not draft her on the dang SmackDown show? So the SmackDown roster, the SmackDown fans could actually see Alexa Bliss, on their screen. It doesn't really make much sense, especially when you think about the fact that you took Nia Jax over her. Oh, no. Let's go to American Alpha, because you took American Alpha. You wanted to put them on SmackDown, but not Alexa Bliss, when American Alpha was a 1-time tag team champion, total of 84 days. Yes, they did appear at the Elimination Chamber in a tag team turmoil match, but for the most part, you really just showed off Alexa Bliss more than American Alpha, because they didn't even get showed off that much. So how the heck do you have American Alpha get shown off on the show, but you don't have Alexa Bliss get shown off on the show? Doesn't really make much sense to me. I thought American Alpha also should have had Kurt Angle as well. I don't really like how they did them. But when it comes to Alexa Bliss, though, I give this booking overall a B. I only give it a B because of the way you brought her in. You just didn't really do much with her. Also, this is the exact same woman that was in the inaugural SmackDown Women's Championship match and wasn't the final 2. It was Carmella. So if you were going to push Alexa Bliss so much, why did you not treat her like as if you were pushing her, but then you're like, you know what? Screw it, let's push her. I didn't really get the way that they booked her early on. Like the first half of her call up from NXT, really, really odd, especially when a lot of people thought that she was one of the true 4 horsewomen and not Becky Lynch, because of the fact that Becky Lynch wasn't as big in NXT, especially compared to one Alexa Bliss. I don't really get that. Also, people that think that Becky Lynch was big in NXT, I don't think you actually remember NXT that much. She was not that big at all, which is why when I said that my new 4 horsewomen were Cora Jade, Roxanne Perez. Also, shout out to my dog Cora Jade, by the way, because I did hear reports that she does not even like Tessa Blanchard, and she called Tessa Blanchard a few things, and basically a disgusting disgusting woman was one of those really big things in that. She didn't even want to work with Tessa. She just kind of did it because I blanked on his name for a second. I was going to say Shawn Spears because Shawn Michaels had asked her to. So it was Roxanne, though. So yeah, shout out to my dog, Cora J. But it was Roxanne, Cora, Jada. I'm taking Jada out now. I'm putting Kalani in. And no, I'm taking Jada out for Sol Ruka and Kalani. I said Cora Jade was this version's Becky Lynch in the sense that had a hard time in NXT, but maybe one day could be like a big star on the roster. I think that could definitely happen for Cora, especially if she is the first woman to become the first NXT woman to become the TNA Knockout Women's Champion. Why the heck though, going back to Alexa Bliss, did you not push Alexa Bliss much better in the beginning? And then said near the end, you know what? Screw it. Let's give her 2 back-to-back belts within the span of 2-3 months. I don't really get it. It's really, really odd in my opinion. So, yeah, I'm giving it a B. As far as American Alpha, I'm going to give them a B- because at least you did give them a tag team championship. But Kurt Angle wanted to be with this group. You should have had them on Raw because Kurt Angle was the general manager of Raw at this time. He could have been with this group a lot more. He wanted to be with every single group that Chad Gable has done. American Alpha, Alpha Academy, and American Made, which is really weird, but this guy just really loves either America or Alpha. Next is going to be Alpha Made or American Academy. It's going to be one of the two. Oh, my gosh, man. But, yeah, I'm going to go with a B- because at least you did do something with them. It's just, I feel like you could have done a lot more with them. I feel like they could have had a 100-day reign, 120-day reign. A little 4-month reign with the belts would have been pretty good in my opinion, especially for Chad Gable and Jason Jordan, who has shown a lot around this time, showed a lot of promise. I think Jason Jordan might eventually got hurt, though, a little later on. I think it was before they went to Raw, though, because they eventually did go to Raw. So I think he did get hurt at one point in time, though, but I'm pretty sure that was later because the injury does say 2017. I don't remember if it was. It doesn't specify exactly when. It just says that he had an injury on TV in the later half, but that there were reports that he was already injured before, way before. So I'll give them a B-. I don't think the booking was bad by any means. Now, after this, actually, no, let's stick with the A-pluses for a second, okay? Or let's stick with the high grades. Finn Balor, A+. Easily, you brought the guy in, you won a fatal 4-way against, I think that was Kevin Owens, Rusev, and Cesaro. It might have not been Rusev, though, or it might have not been Kevin Owens, one of the two. But he won a fatal 4-way against some of your top talents. Then he went on to beat Roman Reigns, who was literally your biggest talent at the time, or at least one of your biggest talents. Then he went on to beat Seth Rollins at a freaking pay-per-view and was the inaugural Universal Champion. You did everything that we all wanted with the guy. You did everything that we've been wanting with the guy for years. You booked him like an absolute superstar, and you said that this guy is the face of the company. It's too bad that he got injured in the dang match, because man, oh man, he would have been the superstar of Monday Night Raw, and I think that, man, his future would have been so much different had he just never got injured. Honestly, a lot of guys' futures would have been different. I don't think Seth Rollins is the same wrestler that he is today. Roman Reigns probably doesn't have as many championships as he does have today. Maybe not much of a need for Brock Lesnar because Finn Balor is such a big superstar. Oh my gosh, man. But yeah, no. After that, though, I can't really blame the booking much because then you were just kind of trying to be careful with him. So you had him in a triple. No, it was actually a 6-man match, not a triple threat. It was Chris Jericho, Sami Zayn, Finn Balor versus Samoa Joe, Kevin Owens, and I think Triple H around this time. That's when Triple H was ushering in Kevin Owens like his next authority guy. This is when the authority guy also got really, really bad, in my opinion. It never really sat right with Kevin Owens being like the authority guy. I don't know why they went that direction. Honestly, they did. The booking with Kevin Owens has always been really, really weird because he's seemed good, but not that great by any means. So yeah, and then you had a Seth Rollins, Finn Balor tag team match against, I think that was Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens. Yeah, it's just, it was good, but you were trying to protect this guy basically. That's what you were trying to do. You were trying to protect him. So for the most part, A+. I can't really give it anything lower than that because you booked this guy to be the dang future of the company. Now, these next three, baby, these is trash. I'm going to go ahead and start off with Mojo Rawley's first. We'll end with Carmella's because I got a whole lot to say about that one. But Mojo Rawley was a part of a team known as the Hype Bros with him and Zack Ryder in NXT. You drafted them separately. Not only that, though, you drafted Mojo Rawley so far down the dang show. But then you had Zack Ryder get into a match with Rusev, get attacked after the match by Rusev. You had Mojo Rawley come in to save Zack Ryder, never set up a feud with these two guys. Then you really didn't even kind of, push the tag team thing until like a few weeks later. So that was already weird in itself. Like, why would you have them be a tag team on NXT and then not have them be a tag team on the main roster, but instead make them be a tag team a little later and introduce them as the Hype Bros? And it's just like, what, why? And they didn't even really mention it that much that they were a tag team in NXT to begin with. So that was weird too. Then you had them lose multiple number one contender matches until they eventually got a match against the Wyatt family, but Zack Ryder got hurt. And like I said, you didn't have Mojo Rawley feud with Rusev. Remember that. I hope you do remember that. Because after Zack Ryder got hurt, we pushed Mojo Rawley into a feud with Kurt Hawkins. Why? Why didn't we start pushing him as like a singles guy? He was clearly supposed to be WWE's Rob Gronkowski. That's why at WrestleMania you had him be in the Andre the Giant Battle Royale match where he got help to win the match thanks to Rob Gronkowski. So it's like, what the heck? Also, I don't really like using after WrestleMania because I feel like WrestleMania is... Cody Rhodes said, after WrestleMania, it's the off-season, so I count WrestleMania as the off-season going into the new season. Obviously, the draft has always been kind of different places, though, but for me, it's draft to WrestleMania. But after WrestleMania, this guy was the Andre the Giant Battle Royale winner, and you did nothing with him. You did nothing. The guy was barely on the show. What the heck? That is a complete flat F. Like, or why would you... Oh, man, I don't know what they was doing with Mojo Rawley around this time. Now, if you thought Mojo Rawley's was bad, I'm actually going to go into Carmella's because I'm going to leave Nia Jax's for last. Carmella had a start-stop push to where she beat Natalya in her first match. If you want to call Natalya a legend of the women's division, you can call her that. She beat Natalya, then got pinned by Nikki Bella in a 6-woman tag match, which led to a feud with Nikki Bella for... no odd reason, but before that feud, though, she was one of the final 2 remaining against Becky Lynch to be the inaugural SmackDown Women's Champion. Then after that, you had the 5v5 match where she got pinned in 2 minutes by Alicia Fox. Then, like I said, that feud with Nikki Bella, yeah, she had a feud with her and lost in a no DQ match for no reason at all. Then you had her fall in love with James Ellsworth. Then you had her lose another women's title match at WrestleMania, so at least you put her at WrestleMania. But the worst part about this whole entire thing is that you had her in a group with Enzo and Big Cass, but you called them up way earlier than you called up Carmella, and you never put them back together. Not one time. She had a feud with Alexa Bliss, never had a feud with Alexa Bliss on the main roster. You had her lose a dang feud to Nikki Bella. Makes no sense because Nikki Bella was on the outs at this point. Why the heck would you not have Nikki Bella actually, allow Carmella to go over? No, young, promising talent, you want to allow her to go over so she can get some momentum and all that stuff. Nope, Nikki Bella ain't want to do that. Also known as Nikki Hogan. I don't know why. You had her almost beat Becky Lynch. You had her beat Natalya, former Divas champion. Yeah, I think she's the former Divas champion, or at least, no, she was a former Divas champion, and she was a future women's champion, but former Divas champion, like, why the heck did you just not book Carmella properly? Why did we have her fall in love with James Ellsworth? At least this led to her getting the Money in the Bank, but I also will say it deducts points because of the fact that the very first ever women's Money in the Bank match, a man pulled the briefcase off the dang hook. Why couldn't it have been a woman? That was basically a smack in the face of the entire women's division, so... I'm giving this a D. This was the dumbest booking because Carmella wasn't even ready to be a superstar. She was only in NXT for like a year, 2 years, but she didn't really have many matches in NXT. She was basically just like the hype woman around Enzo Amore and Big Cass. So, yeah, I don't really know what you did with Carmella or why the heck you even pushed her to begin with. Doesn't really make much sense. But the last one, and oh baby, the worst one, is Nia Jax. Nia Jax was signed in early 2024. She stayed in NXT until July 19th when she got drafted to the main roster. Can y'all actually think of when she had her first match on NXT? Because let me tell you right now, the first time she had a match on NXT was May 7th, 2015 against a jobber. Why? Why was her first match against a jobber? That doesn't make any sense. Why did we sign her, have her wait an entire year to come up, then drafted her within basically a year of being on the roster? And I'm not even really going to call it a year because I'm going to say that it wasn't until her Bayley, Alexa Bliss, and Asuka matches that she really started actually being an NXT wrestler because for the most part, she was facing jobber after jobber after jobber after jobber after jobber. Then we finally threw her to the top stars. And she hurt some of the top stars. And people blame her for it, but they don't blame the weird booking of Nia Jax, because you would think when she got to the main roster that, she'd be booked differently by Vince McMahon because he obviously wants her to be a monster. No, we had our first feud be against Alicia Fox, a glorified jobber in a sense. Look, I know people respect Alicia Fox, and I respect Alicia Fox too, but she was a glorified jobber. Why would you not put her either like how AEW did with Megan Bayne and put her in a tag team with Alicia Fox? Why didn't you do that? Why didn't you have Alicia Fox being like her manager of sorts? That would have been a lot better than potentially have her go against a top talent, then eventually have her feud with Alicia Fox afterwards. Go against a top talent, then go against your jobbers afterwards. That makes more sense to me. I don't know why you did that with Nia Jax, but then she eventually did after the Alicia Fox feud. She feuded with Becky Lynch, she feuded with Sasha Banks, and she just showed some signs of being a superstar, but she also showed a lot of signs of needing to still be in NXT because, like I said, she was only in there for basically a year. This was the dumbest booking of Nia Jax ever. It's also a flat F. I don't know why the heck you would do this. And the fact that everybody now hates her so much because of the horrible booking, the forced booking, the pushed booking, whatever you want to call it, the fact that she gets hated because she injured people early on because she didn't know how to wrestle is so freaking stupid. We all know that Nia Jax was brought way too early. I, a big Nia Jax fan, I am the #1 Nia Jax glazer, two-hand glazing it. Even I can tell you that she was pushed way too soon, and I don't know why she was, because she did not show any potential of being a superstar in NXT. When you go back and watch the matches, you don't see superstar. You see somebody that is very, 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 very green in the ring and should not be in a ring yet. She should still be in a developmental center, but they didn't do that, and it tells me a lot of y'all didn't even really watch NXT because you probably thought coming out of NXT that she was a big superstar because she was drafted on a dang show. No, she wasn't. Yes, she was in matches with Asuka and Sasha and Bayley, but so were a whole lot of other women. So were a whole lot of other ones, like Alexa Bliss, like Carmella, like Valentina, I forgot her last name. A whole lot of women were in matches with these top women. Just because they were in matches with top women does not mean that they were actually top women. Nia Jax was nowhere near ready. She probably should have got drafted in like 2018, 2019, somewhere around there. Maybe like 2017, you could even make a case for it too, because at least then she has like at least 2 full years in NXT to get a lot more work, but I don't know why you would do this with Nia Jax. And the fact that she gets hated for lacking experience and injuring people when there's so many other people who have injured people and lacked experience, it's just annoying as heck to me. I don't like it. I wished people would, give her the benefit of the doubt. It's never going to happen, though. No one's just ever going to give Nia Jax the benefit of the doubt. Even when I say that Nia Jax is an amazing wrestler and a top-tier wrestler, everyone just laughs at the statement and says, no, man, she injured people back in the day. She's a dangerous wrestler. Look what she did to Lyra Valkyria. She clearly hurt her. She ain't hurt Lyra because Lyra was wrestling the next week. I mean, maybe Lyra got like a little bruise or something like that, but bro, that's going to happen in wrestling. Then it said, oh, she hurt Meechin. Buddy, she ain't hurt any of these women. Y'all just living in the past. Nia Jax is a phenomenal wrestler. I already said that I think Nia Jax is the MVP of 2024, that she had the best freaking year, that she had the best championship reign, that she is an absolutely amazing, top talented woman. I think that when it comes to the top talents, I think she's #1 in the women's division. I don't think it's Rhea. I don't think it's Bianca. I don't think it's Becky or Charlotte or Tiffany or any of the other ones. And I really, really wish that she would have got her opportunity to be the top talent, to be able to go into WrestleMania, because now she's probably going to miss WrestleMania after having an amazing year. But for some reason, we could force freaking Drew McIntyre into WrestleMania. We could force Damian Priest into WrestleMania, but we can't force Nia Jax into WrestleMania. I do not get it. And now I'm actually getting annoyed because I'm thinking about all this stupid shit that has happened with Nia Jax, and it makes no freaking sense. This woman carried the women's division for 2024. It was not Bayley. It was not Bianca. It was not Jade. It was not Liv. Liv was on Raw. It was not Naomi. It was not any other freaking woman. It wasn't even Tiffany Stratton or Chelsea Green. It was Nia Jax, and the fact that she is getting screwed over again and again and again and again by WWE is so BS. Y'all tell me Liv Morgan had the best run, but y'all tell me that Liv Morgan had a trash run. Liv Morgan did not have the best run of 2024 for the women's division. It was definitely Nia Jax. I love my dog Cody Rhodes. Whoa! It was Nia Jax over Cody Rhodes. It was not Damian Priest. It was not Gunther. It was not Seth Rollins. It was not Roman Reigns. It was not Damian. Did I say Damian Priest? I'm gonna say him again. It was not Drew McIntyre. It was not any one of these dudes that were the world champions. It was Nia freaking Jax. It wasn't also Io or Bayley as well. It was Nia freaking Jax. She should get the freaking freaking on her name because she is the one that freaking carried the dang company. I have been holding this in for a long time now. I have been meaning to crash out. This is a meaningful crash out. Nia Jax deserves the fucking respect that she deserves because she fucking carried this dang woman's division. She carried it. Y'all think that Tiffany Stratton is so dang... I'm not even going to go into that. Tiffany Stratton does not deserve this match at WrestleMania. It should have been Nia Jax versus Charlotte Flair, and Nia should have went over Charlotte. Then you have Tiffany Stratton dethrone her at WrestleMania by cashing in on her. You could even have it cash in on the match. I just want to see Nia Jax be at WrestleMania, being in a women's championship match, and now I'm not going to see Nia Jax at WrestleMania. I can't even remember the last time Nia Jax was actually at WrestleMania, man. It's so freaking bogus the way that WWE has done her. It's so stupid the way the fans continue to freaking hate on Nia Jax. I do not get it at all. Oh my goodness. I needed to crash out for a second, y'all. I really needed that. So F booking for her and F booking right now as well by a stupid freaking Triple H. I don't care. F booking, man. So it's just a slap in the face to Nia Jax. My goodness, man. Shout out to one of my freaking goats. Shout out to my freaking goat, Nia Jax. Whew. All right. Whew. Take a deep breath. Whew. Take a deep breath. My goodness, man. Whew. My God. Okay. Oh, man. Yeah, reasonable crash out. Reasonable crash out, man. When I just start... I'm going to be calm now about this. The fact that Nia Jax is not at WrestleMania actually just makes me so sick because we have forced Damian Priest to be in this match. He did not need to be in a match with Drew McIntyre. You easily could have had Roman and Drew. You easily could have had Seth and Punk, and that would have been much better. If you're going to have Nia Jax miss it, I feel like Damian Priest should have also been missing it as well because he also showed a lot in 2024. I'm not going to lie to you. I think of the World Heavyweight Championships that year, I would probably give it to Damian Priest. So just 2024. 2023, obviously Seth Rollins killed it. 2024, though, I feel like Damian Priest had the best run. I feel like Damian Priest's run is still better than Gunther's current run. I don't like that, though, because Liv's likely going to be at WrestleMania in a tag team match against Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. You're going to be having Bianca Belair be at WrestleMania. You're going to be having... my bad. No. Yeah, she's a former champion. You're going to be having Bianca Belair be at WrestleMania, probably having Jade Cargill at WrestleMania, probably having Naomi at WrestleMania. You're going to be having Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania. You're having Rhea Ripley be at WrestleMania, but the one women's champion from last year is not going to be at WrestleMania. You're also having Chelsea Green there, probably even Lyra Valkyria, but Nia Jax is not going to be there, and it's just so stupid to me. It's really so stupid, dude. I don't get why. She hasn't even been on the show recently as well. It's just like, dude... Oh my gosh, man. I hate the way WWE has done Nia Jax, man. And sure, they gave her like Queen of the Ring, they gave her the Women's Championship, and you gave her a pretty good run with the belt. But it's like, dude, no. We need to book Nia Jax way better than this, man. This is not what we can do with her. This is so just, it's such a slap in the face, in my opinion. But yeah, man. Okay, so I had to go grab some water, take a bit of a deep breath. I thought of a positive topic, a great way to end this show off. Since 2024, January 1st, really weird way to give that date. What do y'all think are the best 3 signings by any wrestling company? I'm going to go with number one being Ricochet. This is not like in like any order of like, this is the best, this is the worst. These are like my 3 best ones though. Ricochet, for me, came from WWE, struggled so much in WWE, came to AEW, and a lot of folks thought he was going to be a jobber, like I said earlier. This guy has, though, just turned into an absolute star. He's a guy that for the next 3 years, 4 years maybe, going into like his 40s, unless maybe he switches up his style to be a bit more hard-hitting and he's able to go to like he's like 44, 45, I think he's a guy that... He's going to be an absolute star for the company. I can see him getting a few titles under his belt, whether it be like an AEW world title. That one's probably like the biggest stretch of them, but I think he can get like a potential unified IC belt. He could get a TNT belt, maybe a tag team belt. I think he could join the Hurt Syndicate and be in another big storyline. He already had a really big storyline with Swerve Strickland, and I absolutely loved it. He's shown that his promo work is phenomenal. People that doubted him on the mic and thought that this guy should be away from the mic and that he was scared to speak, he has shown that it is the complete opposite, and I am so proud of Ricochet. I am happy for the guy because he's always been a phenomenal wrestler, and I loved watching him in the ring. I just did not ever like hearing him on the mic, and I was like, I think there is something there, though. I think this guy might actually, be good on the mic, and maybe we're just wasting him away as a babyface, because like I said before, not everybody can be a babyface, So that's why I think Ricochet and AEW, it was a great signing by them. They took a chance on the guy, and he definitely paid them back in full. It's the same thing with Swerve Strickland, with Toni Storm, with Jon Moxley, with a lot of these other guys that have left WWE kind of on sour notes and didn't really look the best coming out of WWE. They all showed that they're just absolute superstars and that they just weren't used right by their previous company. Now, for number 2, I'm a bit torn here because I have Naomi and Jade Cargill. I'm going to go with Naomi, but I think only because Jade Cargill was out for a while. I feel like had Jade Cargill been in, maybe I'm going to go with Jade, but I'm going to go with Naomi in this one because of the fact that now we're seeing that great storytelling that I always knew was there with Naomi. I said before, I wasn't the biggest fan of Naomi because of how she went back to WWE, despite the fact that her and Mercedes Moné left. I didn't really like that. Kind of felt like it was just, you going back to the ops in a sense. I didn't really like that, but Naomi has shown a lot throughout this past year. She's had great matches with the likes of Billie, Tiffany Stratton, Nia Jax. That WrestleMania match was also really good as well. This current storyline going on with Jade, that promo with Bianca, I thought was one of the best promos already of the year. One of the best promos in the past few years, too, from WWE, in my opinion. And I think it's going to be just so dang good going forward. If Naomi and Bianca had the storyline that I think they're going to have, because I think after this Naomi Jade stuff, I could see a world where Naomi does go over Jade, but there's also a real possibility they want Jade to go over. I think Naomi should go over, though. She is a bit older. She doesn't have as many years left in WWE, so we should give her a few more wins. I think Naomi should go over, though. Should go over Jade. I think Naomi is then going to go into a storyline with Bianca. It's going to be very Mariah May, Toni Storm-esque in the sense of just the greatness of this storyline. I truthfully believe that if Naomi and Bianca have a storyline, it's going to be one of the greatest storylines that we've ever gotten. I think already Toni Storm versus Mariah May is the best wrestling story ever. Naomi and Bianca could easily challenge that, or at least be 1-1A with it. So I'm definitely going to say Naomi is one of the best signings as well. And then my third best signing, I'm going to go. So I have like a lot of people here in my third spot, but I'm going to go with Ethan Page. I feel like just up until recently, he's been one of the best guys in NXT. I thought his NXT championship run actually should have been a lot longer. Sadly, we didn't use him the way that I thought we were going to continue to use him. Put the belt back on Trick really for no reason. Could have just had Ethan lose to Oba. I think that feud would have been a lot better than Trick and Oba. But this current feud, looking back on it with Javon, it actually wasn't that bad, and it did propel Javon to be a much bigger star than he already was coming in. I hope the future for Ethan Page is still a bright one. I hope that he's still able to be the multi-time mid-card champion that I think he can be. I could even see maybe potential World Heavyweight Champion, WWE Champion sometime in his future. But I do definitely think that he's going to be this era's Miz, where he's going to be like an Intercontinental or U.S. title star. He might even be a guy to revive the U.S. title. And I would love to see a promo battle between him and LA Knight if LA Knight does retain the belt at WrestleMania, if he does defend it at WrestleMania. Heck, if he even retains it against Braun Strowman, which I would assume he should, because I'm assuming Jacob Fatu is probably going to get involved in that match, or Solo or something like that. But I would love to see Ethan Page get up to the main roster and just be an absolute star. I think he has that. I don't know what my GM mode in WWE 2K25 is saying by telling me that this guy is a 2 out of 5 on the mic, but clearly he is at least at the very minimum a 4 out of 5 on the mic. But let's go ahead and end things there, though. Y'all let me know, y'all 3 down below. I'm going to be out, though, y'all. Y'all have a great one. Definitely appreciate wherever you're watching it at. If you can, like, follow, subscribe, whatever you can do over there on Apple, Spotify, YouTube. But for now, y'all, that's it. I'm out. Have a great one, everybody. Bye. Yeah.